Hello again. I want to talk about eyelashes, and I also want to talk about skin tones with this little small recording. And first of all, before you do the eyelashes, I would highly suggest that you shade a lot around the skin of the eye. And with that, keep in mind that the face is like a topographical map, that it has rise and falls and pits, that the skin around the eye, this whole area right here, is not the exact same value. There's a lot of things that are happening in the face underneath the skull of rising and falling. Like, for example, the cheekbone starts to poke out right around in this area around the eye. And then also, like a bone that pokes out just below the eyebrow, and then there's a lot of sinking in these areas and these areas. So there should be differences of values. So when you guys look at your paper or your photograph that you're looking from, really pay attention to where you see it get darker and where you see it get lighter, etc. Now with this eye, how this printed off, this comes off as a white, and but I would suggest keep that whitest white as your highlights. So this is my highlights right here and here. I want to keep that the white of the paper. So what I've been working on is just trying to tone it down a little bit, even though it's a light gray, tone it down. I've been struggling with this area. Light values are really not my expertise. You can see I got a lot of rough shading happening in this area. And what I'm going to be doing, if I'm really struggling, I just get it as smooth as I possibly can using my pencil. I'm changing directions, I'm going in overlapping circles, trying to get smooth. Then I take that gray kneaded eraser that you guys had and I just kind of tap it to lighten it to the value that I'm looking for. So that's one thing to do. Another thing that can help people, or really helps me, is when I'm trying to match my values, is use a mirror. A lot of artists use mirror, and when you have a different perspective of what you're looking at, sometimes it helps you use the values. So like that value, oh dear, I lost it. Oh, here it is. The value scale really helps to get your values right, to determine how light or dark something needs to get. The other thing you can use is your phone. So I'm going to quickly turn my phone on here, and like I can look at it through my phone. Sometimes just that different perspective really helps. And let's see, and I'm going to take a picture here like this, where I have them side by side, and I realize that kind of looked blurry to you guys. Let's see, and now I'm going to just kind of put it in black and white. Give me a few seconds to do that. Let's see, where is my grayscale? There we go. And when I look at it through a phone, let's see, that's not the best picture. Let me try that again. Okay. Try not to get a glare. That's the trick right now. Alright. Let's try that again. That one's slightly better. Oops. Grayscale. But when I look at it through a phone, I can say to myself, ooh, when I compare like this section of the eye to that section of the eye, I can see that I need to get a lot more darker than what I'm actually observing. And so use technology. They're really good tools. And I'm also realizing just how awful my shading is right here. It's kind of mottled. And I need to come back in and really smooth this out. I think majority of your time working in art is just getting those little tiny things. Once you figured out those big things, just smoothing stuff out. Like I need to come in here, do more circular motions so it really smooths out. Okay, so anyways, pay attention to your value relationships to the skin before you do the eyelashes. Let's see, I'm not going to waste more time shading skin around here, even though there's a lot to do. We need to move on to eyelashes. So anyways, first thing I want you guys to think about when you're looking at the eyelashes is they do not grow perfectly straight. For example, like when you look at into a field of grass, all the grass is not growing this one direction. And I had a teacher, she called them paramecium eyes, where people would draw something like this, and here's the eye, and then these are the eyelashes, right? They're all perfect, they're all the same size, they're all kind of going in the same direction. You just kind of end up with this paramecium more than an eyeball. But when I look at actual eyelashes, I will notice that they're not growing all the same direction, and they kind of clump together. So like these eyelashes here, there's a big huge clump, and then there's maybe a few that are growing this direction. Sometimes you have that weird stray eyelash that's going somewhere else. And then there's a clump, etc. Then maybe one single eyelash that's kind of going off into the side, all by itself. And so don't do that. The only time I only see perfect eyelashes is if someone's wearing fake eyelashes, and so where they're perfectly going the same direction. All right, so I'm going to grab a 6B pencil because these are fairly dark. And I'm just going to start somewhere. And remember, eyelashes do not grow right by the eye. There's a space of skin. I'm going to start at the bottom because the bottom seems like a bit more fun. So I'm observing what I'm looking at. I think of a C shape, and I'm kind of flicking my pencil at the same time. And I got a few eyelashes that are going this way, crisscrossing a little bit. And you're not going to get it perfect. Like, I wouldn't go crazy looking at every single eyelash. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to copy the feeling or the texture that you're looking at. Okay, so there's a few eyelashes coming out this way. Now I'm going to come over here maybe. Just kind of flicking it around. Sometimes you have eyelashes where they catch the light, and there's some really light eyelashes and really dark ones. Let's see, now I'm going to talk about that in just a minute once we get some eyelashes. This picture, I really don't see too many of that compared to other examples I've done. Okay, so I'm looking how they clump. The eyelashes on the bottom lid here are not clumping as much as what I'm seeing on the top. Okay, let's move to the top. I'm going to exaggerate that C shape and how it kind of curls into the eye just a bit and then comes up. Flicking that pencil. My eye, we can see that skin. Most people you can't, but mine just happens to be that way. And it looks like we have some eyelashes kind of mingling from the bottom to the top right over here. Okay. But I'm trying to be cautious about every line and stroke I'm making. Am I being predictable where they're all going the same direction? Or am I really thinking about how they criss and cross and gather? Let's see, and we're getting there, aren't we? Slowly but surely. Some of the hardest eyelashes are the ones that are facing you. So like if my fingers were eyelashes, they're kind of coming at you like this. Those are really difficult. I'm going to make, even though I don't see them here, what I would do is make these little C shapes like this to make it look like it's coming at you. If you have eyelashes on the eye you're working on that looks like that. Okay, I've got a lot of clumps here. Alright, so let's say I'm kind of seeing some light catching in some of these eyelashes where one's a little lighter than the other. If you have that situation, use your pink pearl eraser. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the same thing with the pink pearl as I'm doing with my pencil. I'm thinking about that that C shape. If your pink pearl is dirty, kind of like this one, I just move it back and forth on the table. Levi's work awesome on your leg, but I'm not wearing Levi's right now. Just to clean that up a bit, get that edge back. For my, that's so much better. Okay. And eyebrows. If you guys have an eyebrow, treat them just like the eyelashes. Like all those hairs do not grow the same direction. And let's see. I don't have an eyebrow on my paper. I'm just going to kind of make up the beginnings of one. Let's see. But I'm doing the same thing. I'm thinking about how they generally grow in the same direction, but not all hairs obey. Let's see, maybe I'll see the endings of an eyebrow right around here. And I can use my eraser to catch maybe some of those hairs that are lighter. Okay, anyways, I'm getting past 10 minutes here, and video has a hard time loading if it's past 10 minutes. So keep that in mind. I'll try to have a finished piece for you guys to look at. Remember, you want to fill to the edge of the paper, no white halos around the eye. Use that whole paper to your advantage. All right.